free associating. So just going from one thing to the next thing that it makes you think of without any friction. So like if this is coffee, bean, grind, Starbucks, cafe, computer, laptop, study. I kind of went away from coffee at the end there, but which we can talk about because there's multiple ways that you can do this. But that's what free association is. Gotcha. Mic, stand, amplifier, speaker, voice, singer, rapper, talker, convention, right? And so the idea would be to be able to do that for longer, like to pull in more references. But really, I think the goal is just to reduce the friction. Excuse me, meaning like to quickly jump to one. Instead of like when you first try it, you might be like hand, I don't know, hand, finger, right? So you would want to be able to shorten that time and be able to go hand, finger, hold, grip, fingerprint, one of one, identity, et cetera. So the classic way to practice it, like the way I was taught was in elementary school was just like, I think it was like during a poetry segment and we were like brainstorming through free association. So you just write the key word at the top, put a line under it. So you'd write hand, put a line under it. And then you just write down, you set a timer maybe for 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however long you want to go. And just write down every word that you think of coming from hand. And just be completely non-judgmental. That's the thing. The way that we mess ourselves up for the most part with free association, in my opinion, is we try to come up with good answers. Like, oh, I want to have a good list. That's bullshit. That doesn't help in any way, shape, or form. Don't try to have a good list. Just try to have an honest list. Like when you hear hand, what do you think of? There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever you genuinely think of is what you should write down. And if you approach it that way, that's the first big key towards like I say, reducing the friction and just letting the ideas flow out. Is like, don't judge your ideas or wonder if they should be better. You're just showing up exactly as you are today. Right. And that's another key, like, philosophy around improvising in general. Like, what I love about improv is I can't be better than I am. Like, improv is constantly requiring me to just show up at my current level with no bullshit. When I freestyle on stage, I can only freestyle as well as I can freestyle today. I can't freestyle like 10 times better than I am, even if I wish that I could. Right? Maybe in 10 years I can. But as of today, I am just who I am today. And so when you do your free association list, just write down what you really think of. And so that would be the best exercise, honestly. Just write a word down, put a line under it, and then set a timer and see how many other words you can come up with that in your mind were inspired by the key word. And there's kind of two ways to do it. In one way, you would want it to always tie back to the word up top, right? So, hand goes to finger, goes to fingerprint, goes to hold, goes to high five, goes to wave. Excuse me. But wave wouldn't go to ocean. Right? Even though those are obviously related. But wave relates back to hand. So that's one way of doing it where like the words have to relate back to the key word. So you might visualize it less like a list and more like hand is in the middle and you're drawing little lines out to other words. Right? Like hand is the nucleus, but everything has to surround hand. And if you can't explain how your mind went from hand to the word, then it doesn't count. So that'd be one way of doing it, which is a little more like restrictive. So maybe you like that, maybe you don't. And then the other way is like you don't have to relate back to hand. You just start free associating. So when hand leads you to wave, wave goes to ocean, and ocean goes to boat, and boat goes to sailor, and sailor goes to pirate, and pirate goes to gold, and gold goes to buried, and buried goes to coffin, and coffin goes to sick, coffin, and sick goes to dead, which brings you back to coffin, which goes to grave, which goes to serious, et cetera, et cetera. So you can't go back from serious to hand, right? Damn, that's a serious hand. No, but you can't go back from serious to hand, but you got there via hand. And so that's kind of like the wide open way of doing it, which is really fun. So maybe you start there because that has fewer rules. And I find the less rules, the better when you're trying to get started, and especially for kids, I think. But you might find that having more rules helps you. So everybody's different. Both ways are good. I think it's important to practice both ways. But one thing I thought of too, like just now, that could be fun because you're maybe working on this with your 8-year-old daughter. You guys could do a game where you go back and forth. So either you or her say the target word, like couch. So if she says couch, then you say sit, and then it goes back to her. It's like you're playing ping pong. So then she says chair, and then you say living room, and then she says relax, and then you say TV, and then she says Netflix. So you could like play ping pong with the free associated words. And just each time you're just stacking more and more free associated words on top of each other. That could be fun.